living and working in Montreal in Canada when she met Donald Trump and they got married and she went to the United States. 9 reasons Donald Trump want to tariffs the product coming to United States from other countries including Canada. Why are the tariffs being placed on the products coming from its biggest trading partner Canada? So I have jotted down these 9 reasons the Trump administration used to justify its tariffs. The number one reason is developing steel and aluminum industry. In his first administration, Donald Trump also said that a country is no country without a steel industry.
When it comes to a time when our country can't make aluminum and steel, you almost don't have much of a country. We need great steel makers, great aluminum makers for defense.
His tariffs did have some positive impact in the domestic industry, but it was short-lived. The tariffs were off after just 10 to 11 months, so nothing much changed. The second reason is Trump wants to give tax cuts to corporations. Now, the previous government, Biden administration, was keeping the taxes on corporations above 20%, and Trump has reduced it to 15%.
And took taxes from 39% to 21%. You know that better than anyone. It's the largest tax cuts in the history of our country. And that was great. That's why we became so successful.
You think we can do that again?
Yeah, I think we can go lower. And I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm bringing it from 21 to 15, but you have to manufacture your product here. And then you pay 15%. And then I'm going to put tariffs on countries.
Revenue is lost. To make up for the lost revenue, Trump administration is using tariffs. Number 3 reason is using negotiating tactics to get the countries to do something else in some other fields. For example, illegal crossings or illegal truck trafficking from northern and southern border of United States of America. And the recent example of that is Donald Trump has put a pause on tariffs against Canada and Mexico if they strengthen the border security, and results need to be seen within 1 month before March 1st. The number 4 reason is Trump is putting tariffs because he promised his voters that he will tariff all the imports into the country. Now, there is no economic reasons behind it. That's why Donald Trump is putting tariffs, just because he had promised it to his voters.
But I also intend to keep my promises. We're working very hard to get them done.
Number 5 reason is Trump warned the companies to shut their facilities elsewhere and open their facilities in United States of America. If some company that is existing outside the states and they do most of their business within United States, they have the biggest market in United States, it does not make much sense in front of Trump for that company to stay outside United States, and if they come in, they wouldn't have to pay tariffs.
The higher the tariff, the more likely it is to have them come in. The higher the tariff, the more likely it is that the company will come into the United States and build a factory in the United States so it doesn't have to pay the tariff. I'll tell you, there's another theory is that the tariff, you make it so high, so horrible, so obnoxious that they'll come right away.
Number 6 reason is tariff will make up for the lost revenue from low income taxes to the people at large. The Donald Trump administration has promised that there isn't going to be any taxes on tips, any taxes on overtime and other situations, which is actually going to benefit lower income groups.
And that's not just rich people, that's everybody. It's frankly, proportionately the lower scale, much more so than a higher scale. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, and no tax on overtime.
Number 7 reason is reducing the national debt. Now, United States government is running budget deficit year after year. Every government has to see that. That means that they are spending more than they are collecting in revenue. So all those spendings are being financed by debt. The government has to take more debt. This debt is standing at above $30 trillion, which is quite huge. And Donald Trump wants to put tariff on, which will result in a lot of money coming into the US Treasury and they can deal with the debt.
Then very simply, you will have to pay a tariff, differing amounts, but a tariff which will direct hundreds of billions of dollars and even trillions of dollars into our Treasury to strengthen our economy and pay down debt.
Number 8 reason is Donald Trump's love for Canada. He wants to annex Canada into United States as 51st state. When you look at it, there is not much reason for United States to take Canada into it, because Canada supplies oil and petroleum for very cheap. There are many other products that Canada supply to United States, and there are no tariff barriers. Even non-tariff barriers are not there. So if Canada becomes part of United States, there's not much going to be changed. So what is the reason behind Donald Trump's insistence to make Canada the part of America? It's because he has a lot of relationships in Canada. He has some of the best friends in Canada. He has his business here. He has his Trump Towers. He has his Trump hotels here. And in fact, his wife Ivana Trump was also from Canada. She was living and working in Montreal in Canada when she met Donald Trump, and they got married, and she went to the United States. So if someone who has some of the closest relationships in life in some country will generally have some feeling. So he is in love with Canadians, in love with Canada, and so he sometimes think that might as well make Canada a 51st state of America. What's so wrong with that?
Canada, we have a tremendous deficit with Canada. We're not going to have that anymore. We can't do it. I don't know if it's good for them. As you probably know, I say you can always become a state. And if you're a state, we won't have a deficit. We won't have to tariff you, etc., etc. But
so he is using this tariff as economic pressure to make Canada 51st state of United States of America. Number 9 reason is Donald Trump's love affair with tariff. It's nothing new. Donald Trump has been in love with tariffs since 1980s, 1990s. During that time when his business was running into trouble, he went to Japan. He was thinking that Japan, that has the best market in America, most of the gadgets and electronic products in America were from Japan. All the best stuff was coming from Japan. And when he went to Japan to get some investors and businesses to invest in his projects, he did not have much success. He was angry about it. So when he came back, he appeared in CNN, Larry King Live, and he complained about it. He said that if I were president, I would tariff these countries, the allies who get the most business out of America. But when we go there to do business with them, we don't get much success. It is very hard to do business with them. So he fell in love with tariff during that time, and his love for tariff is speaking out loud right now. Trump tariffs are back on after 1 week of an announcement of a pause against Mexico and Canada. This time Donald Trump put 25% tariff on aluminum and steel coming from everywhere to United States of America. Now this has been a bone of contention in 2018, in first term of Donald Trump, when he announced 10% and 25% tariff on aluminum and steel. When Canada retaliated, Donald Trump wasn't happy about it. This is going on again. Trump keep using excuse of national emergency to put these tariffs on all the products coming into United States from different country. But if you look at it objectively, there doesn't seem to be any national emergency. The government is doing fine. United States is doing fine. It is growing year over year, every year. The GDP is getting better. There is no drug overdose crisis even. And in fact, the drug coming to United States from Canada is less than 1%. Now these are the 9 reasons I think are there in the back of the mind of Mr. Donald Trump. If you think otherwise, if you think there are other reasons, please comment down below and share. And there is something saying subscribe. Hit it. Thanks for watching.